Good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to a Westchester Talk Radio podcast. Today, the topic is Blythedale Children's Hospital, and we're with some very special people coming up this year. It's Thursday, September 23rd, and Blythedale will host the BNC Insurance Golf Classic for Blythedale. The outing will be held at the beautiful Fenway Golf Club in Scarsdale, and proceeds will be to the hospital. And with us to discuss this, a longtime friend of this program and Blythedale, Carmine Lapoulis. He's the CEO and president of Lapoulis Electric. Larry Levine, the CEO and president of Blythedale Children's Hospital, and John Caffini, principal at BNC Insurance. Good morning, gentlemen. And I want to remind people what this hospital, what it is. It's a specialty children's hospital for children with complex medical and rehabilitative needs. It is the only independent children's hospital in New York State, and even has its own school district. They've been in existence since 1913, and I have been there. It is a wonderful place. It's a wonderful place when you meet with the people who work with it. It's quite extraordinary. So welcome all of you. And again, I remind people, this golf outing is September 23rd and at the Fenway Golf Club in Scarsdale. All right, let's get to basics. The man who it seems we always talk with about this outing, and we'll get, of course, to all the others, but please welcome Carmine Lapoulis, CEO and president of Lapoulis Electric. So here you are once again, sir. Doing this. Why do you do this? Well, you know, you can just run away with your money. You have a very successful company. Okay. And, you know.
Well, I guess it's because every year I get to see you. This is my one time a year I get to see you, Bob. So.
Well, aren't I lucky?
We're both lucky, I guess. So, well, good morning,
Why
everybody.
Why this particular place?
Well, you know, we spoke for many years now. I've been doing this since 2005. Back then, I was president of the Electrical Association of Westchester, and our board wanted to get together with a charity and a facility, and I just walked in at Blythedale, and at that time, it just changed my life. And I knew that these children needed help and support. And I knew I was going to be able to do that. And I've been doing that ever since.
You know, we've done a couple of on-site broadcasts there, and I've noticed you've gotten to know some of the people that work there in addition to Mr. Levine. They're a very special group, aren't they?
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, I said it many times in the past. The staff is amazing. I think anybody who has individual men and women that work for them, Blythedale's a model for that you would want your staff to be like, because they're just always happy, and it's not really happy things going on. I mean, you have children that are sick, and it's hard, but they stay motivated. And I think it was, their help and their support to keep me going all these years. You know, the children are, if we can make a difference in one child's day, we're doing a good thing. I think we all have children, grandchildren, and if you know what, you go up there and you see these children, and you got a healthy child, you're lucky. So that's the way I look at it.
It's so true. So true. Well, let me move on next to John Caffini. He's a principal at BNC Insurance, and it is his company that is the chief sponsor this year. John, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Now, you guys your name is on the masthead here. What drew your company to do this?
Well, Carmine and I have been friends for, over 30 years and clients, and I consider Carmine a very good friend. And I had participated in the Blightdale outing for a number of years, playing in the event and being a part of the auction and those kind of things. And I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago. Excuse me, Carmine had asked if I would take on the responsibility of being the title sponsor of the event. And there was, it was just something that I think we were meant to do. We took a tour of the hospital. I got to see firsthand the
facility
and the yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep, and it's hard, I think, for any individual to witness that and see the dedication of these people taking care of these children and not feel grateful, like Carmine said, for what we have in our own lives. And I'm very happy to be the title sponsor and be a part of the event in any way that we can.
Well, as someone who's separate from the three of you, if you will, I just commend you for doing this. Again, I've been fortunate enough to visit the hospital, to do live broadcasts there, and it's extraordinary. Now, we'll all talk together again in a little while, but I saved, in some ways, the best for last. I mean, certainly, Larry Levine's hospital wouldn't be what it is if it didn't have people like Carmine Lepolis and John Coffini and their companies doing this. But what a special place. Larry Levine, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bob. How are you this morning?
Pretty good. Again, as you can tell, I was moved when I visited your facility and did so a couple of times and met the people. I would like you to share with folks, when we talk about rehabilitative and complex medical conditions, what are we talking about? Number one. Number two, you have patients outside. You also have a hospital to which the proceeds this year will be dedicated. Elaborate on those things a little bit, if you would.
Sure, Bob. So, again, Blightdale is a very unique hospital. It's the only one of its type in New York State. It's a specialty children's hospital, and we get kids that are referred to us from the major pediatric medical centers in downstate New York. So Westchester Medical Center, Maria Ferrari refers to us, Montefiore Children's, Columbia Children's. And these kids are very, very sick. They have more longer-term needs that they need looked after. And so what we do is we combine medical care and nursing care and physical occupational therapy and get these kids literally on their feet and get them well and out the door so they can be reintegrated with their school, their parents, their siblings, their grandparents. And we take care of these kids in a way that really no one else can care for them in the way that we do. We don't have an emergency room here. We don't have primary care doctors. We're just specialty. And so what do we take care of? We take care of kids with complex respiratory problems, kids that are on ventilators. We wean these kids off of ventilators over 80% of the time, one of the highest rates in the United States. We take care of kids with brain injuries. Kids have strokes and accidents and brain cancer. And we get these kids, we tell them teach them how to learn how to walk again and talk again and to be a child again. That we have kids, infants with major feeding problems, kids that are 6 months old, can't tolerate any feeds. We get them to feed again. Kids with heart disease and neurologic problems. So these are kids that, Bob, have been dealt a really bad deck of cards. And I think, as Carmine and I had said earlier, we have an amazing staff. They're resilient. The kids are resilient. Everyone works together to get these kids home. In fact, last year, 90% of the kids that came to us went home successfully. We're very proud of that.
Apropos of that, Mr. Levine, I can't help but call you Mr. I have such respect for what your place does. I note that you have a training program for parents.
Yes.
And can come with that, of course, for the students. You have a school district. Let's talk about both of those things.
Sure. So we have a lab, actually a center that trains parents on how to take care of the kids when they go home. A lot of these kids, Bob, require round-the-clock nursing, even when they're discharged from the hospital. So we get them medically stable, and we're able to send them home. But insurance doesn't cover 24 hours of nursing care, so parents have to pick up some of the nursing shifts that are left vacant. So how do you do that? Here you have a parent that's afraid to pick up a baby when they're in the ICU. Here they learn how to suction their child, how to give the kid a bath, how to give the kids medicine, how to look at vital signs, all aimed at making sure the parent is confident and competent so that they can take their kid home. It's an amazing program, and we're actually building a $1 million training lab right now with the latest equipment. So it's home-like equipment, home-like environment, and we can train them right here so they can go home. Amazing.
Folks, once again, this is Westchester Talk Radio. I'm Bob Marone for Westchester Talk Radio. We're talking with Larry Levine right now. He's the CEO and president of Blythedale Children's Hospital. With us also is Carmine DePollis, CEO and president of DePollis Electric, and John Coffini, principal, BNC Insurance, the chief sponsors of this year's golf app that supports Blythedale Children's Hospital. And this year will be held at the beautiful Fenway Golf Club in Scarsdale, and proceeds will benefit the day hospital. Carmine, I can see, just going back to you for a moment, why you've dedicated so much time. Now, I see when one becomes a friend of yours, they get roped into this, Carmine. You want to explain how how John got roped in?
You know, that's a, well, I don't think, I think when you first, I think I rope them in the first time they come. And then once they see what it's all about, I mean, the same people are coming year after year. I mean, I don't have that many new people coming. It's the same people for 15 years coming. And, you know, they take it serious like I do. As a matter of fact, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. After the last one, last year we had to deal with the pandemic, and we did a great job, and Larry's staff and Lisa Koch and Tony Lee that run this. They work at Blythedale. What we had to do during the pandemic and just to keep the social distance, and it was a success. I think last year was one of our biggest success. So, but every year, people just want to still remain a part of it. So I'm not really roping people in. And as far as John is concerned and BNC, 3-4 years ago, we lost our title sponsor, and which they were part of the outing for years. And I really didn't have no place to go. I didn't know what to do. And I went to John, and John, we went out to lunch, and I asked him to be the title sponsor, and he just said yes immediately. Like he said before, he was one of those guys I put the rope on 15 years ago, and every year it was a yes. It wasn't even thought about. And so John and his partners, Brian, Todd, Paul, they saved the day 3-4 years ago, because without them, I didn't know what to do. So, and they've been gracious enough to do it, since that time. So,
Bob, I want to say,
yes, sir.
I would like to say something that since Carmine's been involved 15 straight years, Carmine and all of his people have raised over $3.3 million to support Blythedale. And
that's wonderful.
I mean, Carmine is an inspiration, and Carmine's right. We see the same people from 2005 and onward. And what Carmine does, because of his love of Blythedale and his personality and his persuasion, continues to bring new people in. BNC has been our title sponsor now. This is their 4th year. So for the first 3 years, Bob, they've raised over $766,000. And with this year, they're going to top $1 million. So our love, appreciation, and affection for BNC and for Carmine, LaPolis Electric, and everyone that supports this event, a great big heartfelt thank you from all of us here at Blythedale.
Well, let me flip. Well, I can see why. And again, as someone who's been there, and I'm saying this for the audience, you know, there are times we interview people, we've never met them, but we don't know them. In this case, I've spoken with you before. I've gotten to know, I've met Mr. Caffini at the event. I know Carmine almost too well these days. I can speak firsthand. It is an extraordinary place, and I can see why they do it. John, I had a question for you. Did Carmine pay for lunch?
I never let Carmine pay for lunch. No. Carmine and I. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. We again. I love being a part of Blythedale in the event, and you know, Carmine doesn't rope any of us in. Carmine's got an infectious personality. If Carmine,
I know,
for me, he cares so much about this event and this hospital that it makes all of us just want to contribute in any way that we can. And my partners, you know, kudos to them as well, because when Carmine and I had that lunch, and I went back to my office and met with my partners, it wasn't, you know, if we're going to do this, it was, hey, you know what, Carmine's so passionate about this. This is something he's been doing for years. We've been a part of it. It's time, you know, we were all doing very well. I think it's the right thing to do. And we said, yeah, let's do it. And no looking back. And it's been a terrific partnership. And Carmine and Larry do a great job, and we love being a part of it.
Yeah, you can't help but want to join their team. Before I wrap up and cover all the basics again, can you tell us a little?
Bob, one more thing. It's funny, you know, after last year's outing, and again, we were during the pandemic, it was the first time that I had so many calls afterwards that they want to go see the hospital. Like my friends, I call everybody my friends. They're my vendors and colleagues, but they're my friends, and they want to go see the hospital. Now they want to see what I'm talking about, and unfortunately, I can't bring them up because we still have these, you know, rules. But I have a whole list of people that I'm going to bring up there and really make them a part of it. And the other thing is, you know, what we do here for this outing springs other things going on. I know BNC and especially Paul, one of the partners there, gets involved with their own little thing going on with Blythedale to raise money. So it's really a springboard for other things too.
I can see why it would be. Well, I was going to ask John, but since I have you right now, I'll start with you. Give people the thumbnail about your company. I'd like folks to know who are the organizations that are doing these things. Just a snippet about LaPolis Electric.
Listen, you know, I'm Carmine LaPolis. I'm the president and CEO of LaPolis Electric. We're located in Pelham, New York. We're electrical contractors. We're very well known in Westchester. We're part of the fabric in Westchester. You know, I think today, you know, today is about, I want to make it about Blythedale. I get really embarrassed when we talk about my company, because I appreciate, the business that comes in, if somebody hears me on a Zoom call or whatever, but this is strictly about these kids and for us making a difference today. Larry says $3.5 million, that ain't enough. For me, that's not good enough, because, and I don't know the particulars, but I mean, a crib costs $25,000, maybe $50,000. And, so it's not like it's a crib you buy at Raymore and Flanagan's or something like that. It's, a feeding tube, all these different things, thousands of dollars. And we need to get money. We need to raise money for these kids. Case closed.
Well, I knew you'd feel that way, but I just wanted people to know just a little bit about who and what the organizations are that are doing this. John, I'm sure you feel the same way. Do you say anything about BNC, what you guys do? John Coffini?
Yeah, of course. I feel the same way Carmine does. This is a great opportunity to be a part of Blythedale. BNC, Insurance and Risk Advisors, we're located in Rye Brook, New York. We sell insurance, whether it's for your home, your car, or your business. We have a couple of different verticals. We do high net worth personal lines, as well as a strong construction vertical. That's how Carmen and I are such close friends. Been partners with each other for 30 years. As well as a lot of other contractors in the New York metropolitan area. But again, very, very happy to be a part of the event.
Well, I'd like to flip just again. Thank you so much for that. Larry Levine, Mr. Levine, CEO and President of Blythedale. What is the future of Blythedale? I know you mentioned you're working on a new education program for things of that nature. What else can we look forward to as time moves on, Mr. Levine?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Blythedale is continuing to develop new programs and services here at the hospital. We have a new pediatric program just aimed at kids that have hypertension. Again, Bob, most of the kids that we talk about in Westchester are all healthy. We're dealing with about 1% of the kids. So we have this new pediatric hypertension program. We have a new program in assistive technology. These are kids that can't move properly. They can't communicate. They're trapped in their bodies. And so with physical, occupational, speech therapy and these new pieces of equipment, we're able to design a program for these kids so that they can speak when they can't speak very well. They can write a term paper. They can communicate with their parents. It's absolutely amazing. We're one of the only hospitals in the entire state of New York to develop that. And the last thing I'll tell you, we have a new free legal clinic here at the hospital. These are for parents that are on Medicaid, and their kids have all sorts of different problems with housing and getting benefits and getting resources in schools. So we have lawyers fighting for these kids to make sure when they're discharged, they can have a healthy future long after their Blythedale hospitalization. So with the help of BNC and Carmine and all these wonderful donors and your listeners, our future, I think, is always going to be very, very bright. We can always find new programs and services to meet the needs of these kids because of the philanthropic support of everybody.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I just want to remind folks, though, remember the golf outing is on September 23rd at the Fenway Golf Club in Scarsdale. Proceeds to benefit the hospital's day hospital. You can go on their website, find out more information about it. As always, Carmine Lepolis, what can I say? Just wonderful work that you do. And it's really, folks, the Carmine and John Coffini show in this sense. He's a principal at BNC Insurance. They are the title sponsors for this year's golf outing. I want to thank the three of you for taking this time out this morning. I know how busy you all are. And Carmine, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you, John.
Bob, one last thing, Bob. So we're sold out with our corporate sponsors, golfers, our corporate foursomes. We're going to have, we have one of our biggest turnouts. And
not surprised.
But we need tee sponsors. They're $1,000. Go to the website. I need people to go to the website because we need tee sponsor. $1,000, and you will make a difference in a child's life for $1,000. Your name will be on the tee at just a tremendous day at Fenway Country Club. So that's my closing there, Bob.
Yeah, do go to the website, folks. And if you ever, I'm sure that Carmine or John or even Mr. Levine, Larry Levine, they can get a tour of the hospital for you. You will be more than impressed. I think that's a fair statement. John, any final words from you, sir?
No, looking forward to the 23rd. I'm sure every year we have beautiful weather. It's a beautiful place. Looking forward to seeing everyone. And absolutely agree with Carmine. There's still plenty of room for people to jump in and make a contribution. And hopefully, after seeing this, they'll feel it in their heart to go on the website and do something nice.
Thank you so very much. And Larry Levine, please keep doing what you're doing. Larry, do you golf yourself?
No one would want me on the golf course. No.
Okay. I didn't. Well, I'm sure you won't do much worse than the other two gentlemen. So I want to thank the three of you. I'm always so honored to be able to do this. Thank you so much. I'm Bob Marone for Westchester Talk Radio. Thank you all very much.